But the reality is that offshore banks with no corresponding banks means no offshore banking sector. And the essence of offshore banking is the free flow of foreign currency, primarily US dollars, through the banks, without any exchange control. This is akin to conducting banking business in the US, but doing it outside of the US. Without these correspondent banks that we have been hearing about, then you are forced to do banking essentially back in the United States, which means that Belize offshore banks are no longer attractive and ultimately leads to a loss of skilled labor jobs in the banking sector. Moreover, apart from facilitating the offshore services sector in Belize, funds that ended up in the Belize offshore banks played a key role in tourism investment in Belize. It has also played a key role in financing citrus, financing shrimp, major export industries in Belize, among others. This will all now dry up, thereby negatively affecting these key industries in our economy. And this will mean reduced investment in these industries and most certainly loss of jobs. And the loss of correspondent banks by domestic banks, this is critically important, can have an even more severe adverse impact on our economy. We know that First Caribbean International Bank is gone. They are gone. Ordinary everyday transactions may be impaired, if not curtailed. Just the purchase of consumer items from abroad, like imported food, or imported electricity, or imported fuel, not to mention capital items like steel, cement, and equipment, will become difficult. My fellow Belizeans, we cannot allow our domestic banks to lose their correspondent banking relationships with the US. And we cannot concede, as this government appears to have conceded, and this central bank we have now, that we have to live with this situation like we live with hurricanes. That is absolute nonsense. Belize is not a risky place to do business with. The banks in Belize are not risky to do business with. What we have to do, and what the government's obligation to do, and what the central bank's obligation to do, which they're not doing, is to convince the United States and other developed jurisdictions, other developed nations who are blacklisting us, that Belize is not risky. If they agree we are not risky, then there is no de-risking to be done. It is as simple